Okay, it is time for sudden death. Aha. No, we're 1-1 in the series right now, and this match will decide it all. We have... did they switch sides again? I think we have Velvet Fishwhale. Yeah, they did. We have Dented back on the left side. We have Velvet Fishwhales on the right. And they are going to town on the bands. We do see that Nasus ban, as you predicted. So, are eliminating him from the champion pool.
I don't really think there is enough to be said about Nasus. Nasus is a giant problem. He can just... he just wrecked late game.
That's a really good way to describe the champion. Just a giant problem.
He's a giant problem.
Nobody likes playing against him. Like, he's not fun to play against. In my opinion, he's not very fun to play because you have to spend, like, I don't know, 20 to 40 minutes just pressing Q on minions, and then all of a sudden you're God. And you can just kind of space out for the time in between.
I do agree with what you're saying. Is like Nasus becomes a god of the top lane, a god of any lane, god of the game, I would say. We're also going to see a few more bans, Dr. Mundo and Kale going down for Velvet. I think that's Dented. And we see, I can't see the last ban for Velvet Cupcake, or Velvet. Team Velvet is what I'm going to call you guys from now on.
We have a Swain.
A Swain? Interesting.
They're after my own heart. Swain is one of my favorite mages in the game. You see that ever popular weak way on Shyvana, which he played to great effect last game. We have a Lissandra. Lunch hours back on Lissandra, and Dense Student has opted to pick up that Trundle. Sort of like what they saw. Played by Brandshot.
For sure. And Lissandra, very strong. We saw that her CC was very strong. It helped out later on when it got into team plays. Trundle, we didn't see a lot come down really during last game. But Trundle, if you saw the first game, as I was saying, even a little bit at the beginning during the second game, we saw that Trundle did a lot because of his pillars and his speed buff. There was a lot of nice engages, and yeah, just very interesting picks by him.
And we do have Sedui's on Darius this time. I think Renaud had played Darius in the first game. Oh, and no, it's... teasing me with that Pantheon. I love me some Pantheon. But no, it's going to be Riven.
Riven? I'm surprised actually Riven got through, to be completely honest. She is pretty strong. The patch hasn't taken place yet. I guess both teams were willing to let it go through. Willing to kind of deal with that Riven.
Yeah, they're going to be hard-pressed to do that. Riven, super mobile champ, excellent in trades, and just all-around good. I mean, there's not a lot to say there. Scales incredibly well. I mean, I want to know what the Riot designer meeting was like when they sat down to design Riven. They're like, let's give her a shield and let's have it scale off AD. Just why not? Just that'll be cool.
Yeah, and then let's just add in a giant attack damage increase alt that also does more damage with the less health you have. That can just assassinate people. Why not? This is going to be the best idea ever.
Yeah, it's Dota does it, so we gotta do it.
Exactly. Why not? Because most MOBAs need that one just really overpowered, super duper bundled champ all in one during some point in the game.
Indeed. And I through thick and thin, there was one time, just go into a reverie here, Twisted Fate was always like my main like AP mid when I was starting to learn to play the game. I was like, oh, this character's awesome. And I played against a Swain one day, and I just got my ass kicked. I was like, I'm gonna learn that champion. So I just started playing Swain ever since, and I really like Swain. I think he's just he's just one of the best mages in my opinion. High skill cap. Just he's a good focal point for team fights. With the never move, the dots, the damage increases, the slows, and he just never dies with that ult. So, my favorite champions. I like him a lot.
Yes, agreed. Swain is nice because of his ultimate. That's why I kind of prefer like him, because his ultimate gives him a lot of sustain, and it is very great sustain too. Like, all you really have is build spell vamp onto him. You can just build full damage and kind of tanky AP. And still have a lot of lifesteal to sustain through fights or 1v1s.
Definitely.
Also, chat, what do you... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We're just, both teams have shown us what they can do over the last couple of games. With these teams, like, we've seen a Shyvana, we've seen a Trundle, Darius, and, well, I mean... Actually, we've seen 4 of these champions. There's Swain and Riven are the ones we haven't. But they've swapped hands here. Like, Weequay's kept her Shyvana. Blanchard's kept the Lissandra, but they've stolen Trundle from the other team. So they got the Fishwhales. They're back with a Darius. Just, like, I don't know. I don't have a prediction this time. Not to say that my last prediction was good, because it ended up being wrong. But
both our predictions ended up being wrong last time. But you know, seeing what happened last game, I think it's going to be a very close next game. And, you know, it's going to be one side. It's not going to be one-sided, but it's going to be multi-sided. So it's going to be, it looks like it's going to be one team winning, and then it's going to be the next team that has the event, and then it's going to just keep going back and forth. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what chat thinks. Chat, what do you guys think? Who do you think will win this? Do you think Dented will? Do you think Velvet Fishwhale will? What do you guys think? We kind of want to know. So feel free to chat or to type in the chat what you guys think.
I just hope that Branchot has the right skin. There's only one skin for Swain. Oh, he doesn't have it. Not Tyrant. It's Glorious Commissar, Swain of the North. Whatever it's called. I don't know. Northern Commandant, Russian Swain. That's the only acceptable Swain skin. I'm talking about this Tyrant.
I like Tyrant Swain a little.
No, man. Turns into an owl. It's awesome.
Good point. We do see two skins.
Bloodstone Lissandra and a Battle Bunny Riven.
Actually, one shower types in the chat, his friend gifted him that skin, and he said shout out to his friend that bought him that skin. So there's a shout out to your friend, One Shower. Made the skin a little more interesting. So we have a Battle Bunny Riven and the Bloodstone Lissandra. I kind of like them Battle Bunny Riven skin.
You guys all poor as fuck. You need to buy more skins.
Man, too poor on RP.
Start?
All right. Dented, get off that fountain. Get out there and start fighting at level 1. That's what I want to see you do this game. If you do one thing different, do that.
We see a lot of pings actually going down as well. And this time we actually see that Velvet Cupcake, or why do I always say Velvet Cup? I always think of Velvet Cupcakes for some reason.
You got cake on the brain.
I don't know why. I have cake on the brain. I want a Velvet Cupcake, which is pretty interesting. But anyways, going back to it, we see defensive kind of starts. Actually, we see a little bit of an invade going down. Possibly.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be chilling in this bush here. They're going to wait until Weequay walks into 3 of them. This is why! You're seeing it right here. Weequay in trouble here. He didn't take Flash. He's going to... Oh, he didn't even burn Ghost. But, yeah, it could have been bad. Wasn't, but could have been. Hello? Okay, looks like I'm by myself for a second. The teams are moving out to their respective lanes. We have Trundle. He's going to swing a big ice club. That's Swain. Junglers are starting out, as they usually do. And here we have that ever-popular mid lane matchup from Summoner's Rift. We have Lissandra versus a Riven. We're just going to see how this game goes. Riven having that Boots and Doran start, she's going to be a little bit more mobile than Lissandra, who started out double Dorans. And we have big action going on in the jungle here. Sidhu versus Weequay, and Sidhu is on the receiving end of some punishment there. Never fight a Shyvana early. Her burnout can just tick for a lot of damage that you don't see coming. Dent Student chasing out Brandshot, using that pillar to isolate him from the lane. And the altar unlock is coming down in 30 seconds, and we see Weequay and Sidhu kind of jockeying for position at that altar. Weequay taking a nice aggressive stance. BoDent really wants to take the enemy altar. So they're positioning for that, and both teams it looks like we're going to see an early team fight here unless Velvet Fishwhales completely surrender their early altar. Sidhu is just taking lots of punishment here. He's going low. He's got the Ignite taking on him. Will it be enough? Not looking like it. It looks like he's just going to heading down and heading back. Dented will take the enemy altar here. Really good aggressive play from BoDent. Here comes Brandshot in on Lunch Hour, but he will get isolated. The pillar goes down, but he flashes over it. He eats an exhaust. So Lunch Hour and Renaud are the only people in this game right now that have their flashes up. So, after all that, we have altars for BoDent and burned flashes on both teams. Sidhu taking a lot of damage from the combined forces of Dent Student and Weequay. He's forced to leave, but he's not out yet. And Brandshot is just content as it looks to farm under tower. And Lunch Hour, he's really showing a lot more aggression than he did last game. Weequay is caught out in turn by Renaud, but here comes Lunch Hour to the rescue. Weequay will go down. First blood will go to Riven. Renaud of the Velvet Fishwhales, and she is not done. Lunch Hour is next on the menu. Sidhu will pick her up with his Q, and Dent Student is looking worse for wear here. He will go down as well. Will he be able to take out Renaud is the question. And no, he will not. Brandshot will pick up the kill. Everyone on Velvet Fishwhales made out with a kill at exchange. And they are off 1k gold as a result.
Agree. I agree with that. Obviously, we agree with that because I just saw that. Apologies, I was having a little bit of connection issues with my mic there, so my mic kind of did cut out a little bit. Problem is now fixed, but we do see that there is 3 kills going on. It's evenly spread out to the 3 kills, so it's very good. We see a Brewlazer getting picked up by Riven. Ruby Crystal... Actually, no, sorry, a Sapphire Crystal boots with some health pots and mana pots, and a Vampiric Scepter with some health pots. Very nice pickup, actually, by Purple Team, I would say.
And here's one thing I like about BoDent. Even though they lost that fight, they're right back in the game, taking objectives, capitalizing on what they can do, as opposed to trying to get back immediately. They're taking their time, they're taking their altar, and just, methodically thinking of where they can go from here. So they got to climb back into the game a little bit. They're not too far behind, but they don't want to get more behind.
Exactly. So they are gonna try objective-wise. You know what this kind of reminds me of a little bit? This reminds me kind of NA versus EU, where EU focuses more on objectives. I find. Oh, actually, we see some.
Hate to interrupt you there, but Brandshot will juke out Weequay here as both teams converge again for another team fight. Fishwhales are deadly in a team fight. They have a great combination of CC between all of their three champions, and Dented are going to want to split them up if they want to have better chance of fighting them. Lunch Hour and Renaud going hard on each other. Lunch Hour, his Glacial Path just came off cooldown, but it's not going to be enough. He will take that ult, that Wind Slash from Renaud, and will go down.
As I was saying, with his Riven's ultimate does a little bit more damage, and she also has a Brutalizer on top of that, so she just goes through that, that cloth armor that Lissandra has. Or actually, Seeker's Arm Guard. I don't know if she just bought that. I was looking at the wrong person there for a second. But anyways, point is, Riven's ult does a lot of damage, and Wind Slash is a great finishing move for Riven as well. With her stun and knock up, it's pretty great actually, because I don't even think Riven took that much damage during that battle as well with her shield.
Yeah, Riven just provides really good disruption with the broken wings. The student's going to get caught out by a Never Move, and he's going to eat a full Swain combo, dealing a significant portion of his health. But he's Trundle. He'll heal it up. He'll be in good order shortly.
I actually kind of want to do a quick shout-out comment that I found a little funny. Ezreal Master says, "In the Riven, Snowball is born."
And Brandshot, unfortunately, is in trouble. He will go down due to a 3-man gank. His team is nowhere to be seen. Completely caught out by the combined efforts of Dented there. Dented will assume the position and take the enemy team's altar.
It looks like Dented is doing what they did pretty much last game as well, grouping up as 3 and just going for those single targets. Which is a pretty good strategy, I would say, because that's how it's like almost in 5v5 as well. You just want to isolate a target, and especially if that target will be a threat later on in the game. They're able to pick up Swain. Swain was not able to lifesteal with his ult or get any snares off during that because of the CC that Trundle brings along with Lissandra. And that movement speed by Shyvana with her Dragon Descent, actually. She did not burn her Dragon Descent, though, which is very good, because she might need that later on in the teamfight.
Yeah, it's good for her to hang on to that. Yeah, Swain is kind of weak early on. He really starts hitting his stride once he gets that Rod of Ages, so he's just going to have to play carefully and bide his time until that happens.
And we just see casual moves going down. Riven just pushing down that bot lane, while Trundle is pushing down the top lane.
Shyvana's picked up a Tiamat. We saw her get that Ravenous Hydra. Oh, Weequay's getting caught out. Lots of slows going down on him. He will Dragon's Descent in the middle of all of them, and Brandshot will pick up the kill. I think the dunk went down too, but it did not kill him, and the Noxian Guillotine is now on cooldown. I think this altar is going to go to the Velvet Fishwhales.
That was a nice play by Velvet Fishwhales there. They were able to... Smite
Dent
just
Student
missing
and
there.
Stu dueling, and Dent Student is winning this one pretty hard, actually. Stu will flash out of there, but here comes Lissandra to pick him up with 19 blast.
Ulti.
And now Lunch Hour's in trouble. Here's Renaud coming in and dealing tons of damage. Dent Student will go down as well to Swain, and now Weequay versus Brandshot, but it's not looking good for Brandshot because he is out of mana. And Weequay also seems to be out of cooldowns. That Never Move goes down, and Brandshot will escape. Good trade.
That was a great trade. They were able to get Riven and Darius. I almost said that. Oh my gosh, they almost got Darius from, or they got Darius from that as well. What happened there was they could have actually gotten, I think, Riven a little earlier, but they didn't expect her to come back in. They expected her to just leave, or they expected her that she was B already. Lissandra decided to use the all on Swain, bringing him very low, and that's when Riven decided, hey, that's enough, get off my Swain. So she ulted, went in, broken wings, did quite a bit of damage. All the CC and attack damage she has in her kit, and she also broken wing wasn't enough for Trundle, so she had to do go a little more into the kill than she wanted to, and she ended up getting the kill, but at her own life.
Yeah, and it looks like Sidhu's going to be in trouble here. Dent student's coming in, but Renaud comes to his aid. The altars are currently under the control. Oh, they just swapped them. Never mind. I don't know if this is a graphical error, but I see two chains of both team colors on the left altar. But I see on the map that BoDent controls the left one, so we'll ignore that. Yeah, up top, Branchot's pushing pretty hard.
We see a assist ping going down by Trundle, and we see actually
Launch Hour getting caught by a never move, and she's taking a lot of damage. She will Glacial Path right out of there, though. She's low, and they might... Velvet Fishwhales might end up taking this bottom turret.
That was actually, I have to say, really close call, because if Riven was able to hit that knockup, it would have canceled Glacial's past second activation. Riven wasn't able to get the knockup up though, which was very, very close to hitting her. I think it was about a millisecond off from being exactly a knockup. We also see them.
But Renaud's in trouble here. He will get ulted by Lunch Hour and picked apart by the combined forces of Dented. Reparations for that tower that was taken down.
So what do you think? Do you think that Riven sacrificing her life for a tower was kind of worth, or do you not think? In my opinion,
well,
I don't think it was
the
really
tower
worth.
was already down. I think that she just stayed there too long and tried to farm and then ended up getting caught. Sidhu is also going to get caught out by excellent use of that ice pillar. The Glacial Path will come down and Lunch Hour will catch right up to Sidhu and take him out and gain control of the altars for their team. I'm liking this exchange that's going on. Every time one team makes a play, the other team comes right back and delivers another punch. Velvet Fishwhales are winning in turrets right now, but that has yet to be seen. Branchot in a lot of trouble. He gets exhausted, doing tons of AoE damage, but he's going to go pretty quick. Renaud is going to clean up, though, and Branchot comes out alive, life-stealing with that ultimate. And pretty one-sided exchange for Velvet Fishwhale there, because they already had the enemy tower down.
And it looks like they're going to go cap that altar, actually, and try to get a little bit of damage on the bot tower, or just push minions. I believe it's just to push minions.
But despite the score, the gold differences are still pretty close. Only a 600 gold advantage for the Velvet Fishwhales. Not an insurmountable amount by any calculation there.
Actually, we see Swain pushing down the top turret a little bit, but we don't see anybody going towards the top turret. We see Trundle, I think, waiting for an item, while the rest of Velvet is making their way top lane to try to get that top turret.
And Velvet Fishwhale is playing a very good push game. Both of BoDented's outer turrets are down. And a big team fight happening here. Weequay's coming in. His ultimate is not up. He was caught by the never move, and Branchot will take him out. The Glacial Path goes down, but it might not be enough. Renaud gets picked up by Lunch Hour, and excuse me, Lunch Hour will go down as well. The student trying to get away from the combined forces of the Fishwhales, but he will be caught by that never move. Swain, you're after my own heart in this game. Catching people, making plays.
And we see them starting to go towards that inhib tower right there. I don't think they're going to be able to take it down, but they did do quite a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, and check out his Rod of Ages. Only 2 more minutes until it maxes out on... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's almost half maxed on stacks now. So, 6 more minutes and it will be full.
Yep. And then, let's just quickly look at item builds. We see... Before I go into that, we'll see who's sitting on how much gold. We see Swain actually sitting on 2k gold, while everybody else is sitting about in the hundreds range. Excuse me. Riven having a Sunfire Cape, Brutalizer, Merc Treads with a Pickaxe, Vampiric Scepter, and having a Doran's Ring. How do you feel about that Sunfire Cape actually on Riven?
I think this like I mentioned earlier that Riven in this game is going to be more of like a sorry, I'll get back to that later, but Renaud is in trouble right now. He's getting caught up by Lunch Hour and Weekway, but here comes Swain. Lunch Hour will Zanya's and then pick up Renaud with an ultimate, and Darius will go crazy on everyone and kill them both with I think his Q. His ultimate is actually not up. He got both those kills without the ultimate. Dent Student will end up going down to Brandshot. If Brandshot can find the mana to cast a spell, he is out. He will cast a Torment, excuse me, and he will end up taking it.
Very close though. Close indeed, since he barely just had enough mana, I think, to cast his ulti right there.
Yeah, that Torment on Swain, it does a deceptively large amount of damage, and it also amplifies any damage he deals to the target subsequently. So if he keeps auto-attacking, he's dealing, right now, 11% more damage on those autos. And that adds up. He's able to outduel Trundle there. But as we were saying before, Riven's role on this team is not so much like a big, just, huge damage dealer. It's not like the Ravenous Hydra Bloodthirster builds that you tend to see on Summoner's Rift. She needs to be able to take a hit on this team, because they are going for that tanky team that you saw in the first game with the Renekton and the Darius and the Kale. She's just going to be really beefy, hard to kill, and she still has a lot of damage. She still has a lot of team fight disruption. So
we see she's actually trying to go on Lissandra, but Lissandra does nice disengage. I don't know if she wants to go back in the fight or not.
Yeah, Lissandra's kiting really well. The Never Move will whiff, and Renaud will miss with her stun, and both teams will just get caught in Lunch Hour's AoE and torn apart. Sidhu is on the run now, and he's not looking too long for this world. He will try to dunk Dent Student, but he does not have the damage to kill him, and Shyvana will pick up both kills.
I don't know if they're going to push a turret. It looks like they're going to push a turret. I think what they should do is they should push down that first turret and then go towards Biomont so they can have that, the great buff that Biomont provides, which is increased, health regen and mana regen. And it looks like that's what they're going to do while Lissandra goes caps that bottom.
See, I'm not going to call it a mistake because they have the freedom to do this and they're ahead enough where it doesn't matter. But especially in games like Summoner's Rift, if you're in a position to take a big important objective like Baron or Dragon while the enemy team is incapacitated, or you have the choice of taking a turret, you should always go for Baron or Dragon, because you can always come back and take the turret, and you'll be in a better position after taking the turret with the buff. So it makes more sense to get the buff first and then take the physical objectives, because those will still be there. But the enemy team, if they're down, you have a window of opportunity to take something that they cannot stop. Unless it's the Nexus. You should probably just kill the Nexus if you have the chance.
I see. Well, we also see that Purple Team capping an altar and Blue Team actually kind of going down looking for some sort of maybe trying to collapse in on somebody.
Yep. And Velvet Fishwhale, they seem to be kind of surrounded here, but they've made it out all right, looks like. Brandshot pops on his ultimate even when slowed by the ice turret, and wow, Weekway will just melt Renaud there. And the Fishwhales will just end up kind of eating it in this fight. Kind of unfortunate. Sidhu will just try to juke them around and waste their time, but he will end up falling to Shyvana as well.
Again, I think what the biggest factor is in this fight is that Lissandra is able to just ult Riven. And Riven does quite a lot of damage. Like, you don't notice it until Riven actually is either out of a fight or she's the one that gets focused down first, which is the case here. She does do quite a lot of damage. We see that nobody fell for Born or...
Renan will come in and try to force off Dent Student and Weequay off his turret. Never Move will miss, and Born Dented will escape, covered by that ice pillar. Here comes Lunch Hour to join the rest of the team. We could be seeing another team fight. I'm so... The back and forth of this game just excites me. If one team winning, and the other team wins, and then...
Exactly, like I said in the beginning, it did look like it was going to be a back and forth. And it is a great back and forth. For blue team right here, it looks like they're actually... The greatest thing that wins them their team fights is the Lissandra ulti. Lissandra ulti is very good, I would say, on top of Trundle, because he gains the stats that Riven had, but Riven can't really do anything, so she's taking damage over time, plus she doesn't have her armor already, so they're able to burst her down almost instantly when she's CC'd right there, which is why I think they're winning the fight. As I was saying before, Riven does a lot of their damage, as I was saying a majority of their damage, and we could tell when no one died on blue team and pretty much 2 people died on purple team, and we look like...
Hate to interrupt, but Sadu is getting caught by an ice pillar, and he is getting melted currently. Weequay will... Lunch Hour will ult for no particular reason, but doesn't matter, because they're getting kills. Dragon's Descent goes down, knocking out Renaud, who flashes. Brand Shot is going to buy time with Never Move, but he gets caught up to by Lunch Hour with that Glacial Path. He will Witch Cap and save himself for a minute, but he is going down slowly right now, and I think Shyvana is going to kill. He will try to lifesteal a little bit. He is struggling to survive. It is a truly heroic effort, but there's the pillar, and Shyvana will get the ace. We have a dual-pronged push now from Born Dented as they are shoving into Fishwhale's base.
We can see Dent Student doesn't even care about the turret. He doesn't care about turret aggro. He's just going for the turret, and we see Darius actually making his way towards them. Well, Lissandra just decides to push that in him.
Both with the pull, but the pillar will separate them and possibly save Dent Student and Weequay. Sadu is not one to give up easily, though, and he is going to chase after both of them and claim those jungle minions. So, the top inhibitor on the Fishwhale side is about at half health. They're down by 1 turret in comparison to Born Dented, and they need to make some good decisions from here on out in order to try and take control of the game.
Exactly. I think if it comes down to not exactly endgame in one team fight, but I think one team fight could possibly decide the game for purple team, which is Velvet. And you know, I really do think Velvet can come back. They have an easy chance of coming back. I feel like they need to catch out somebody with Lissandra not there, and I think it's either the perfect time, and this is actually the perfect time right now.
And that pillar, we just cannot say enough about that pillar in these tight, cramped jungle spaces. Brand Shot will melt completely immediately. I was going to say he ulted a little, he was on it a little too early, but he melted immediately afterwards. There's so much damage on Born Dented's team. Lunch Hour will go down, but not before getting a double kill onto Brand Shot and Sadu, and Renaud is in trouble here because here comes Dent Student. And, Dent Student will break off the chase. And I think there's going to be a bottom push coming soon from Born Dented.
Exactly. And, we do see blue team ping towards Bioma. They could easily get it. Possibly, it might be, thought of by purple team Velvet that Dent is going for this Bioma, but you know, they are actually just respawning. I think that Dented are going to get this Bioma, and they do.
Yeah, that was easily soloed by just those 2 characters.
And as I was saying before, or as you were saying before, objectives are very key in this. We saw that they decided not to go for inhib or tower, so they decided to pick up a great global objective, which was Violmont in this case.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'm kind of struggling to think of how Velvet Fishwhales can get back in the game here. They need a few solid team fights. And the key here is Swain. He needs to set up a really strong never move, and his teammates need to take proper advantage of that. Like, they can't focus Lunch Hour because she can go invulnerable for 5 seconds on separate cooldowns or stun someone out. And Shyvana and Trundle are now so big, I just don't know who you would go after in a team like this. They're all so defensive and high damaging.
It does look pretty grim, I must say.
That never move will hit nobody.
We'll see what Velvet can come up with. It looks like they're trying to, and Darius pulls.
The apprehend goes in and catches everybody, but here comes the full-on team fight. Brandshot will probably witch cap a little too early here, but so will Lunch Hour, and Brandshot will actually take out Lunch Hour, and he will head back to base to heal. Subdue is very low, and so is Dent Student and Weequay, but that inhibitor will end up going down, and so will Subdue. The double kill goes to Dent Student, and possibly here comes the Nexus turret. If Brandshot...
We'll see what Swain can pull here.
Yeah, Brandshot definitely needs to put on his carry hat. And he will take out Dent Student, it looks like. I don't think Dent Student can get... Oh! Okay, no, he will take a shot from the turret and die. Weequay might be in trouble, though, but Brandshot is very low on mana. That his Ravenous Flock will just eat up his mana bar.
Very, very unlucky there by Dent Student. I was sure he was going to escape there, but then ended up being turret range. Very OP there. Getting getting Swain the kill there, and we see Shyvana being able to make it out alive. Yeah, team fight more though. What do you think decided that team fight?
I think this is this might be more of an item issue at this point. You brought up the issue before about the Sunfire Cape on Riven, and while I was kind of rationalizing in my head at the time to think it might be a good decision, right now it is not a good item to have on her because she needs that attack damage. She's building, but she just doesn't deal enough damage. And remember, she does get that shield, and it's on a very low cooldown. So attack damage is Riven's survivability, in conjunction with lifesteal. I think she needs to get rid of that Sunfire Cape and start building like a Bloodthirster or something, because their team just doesn't have enough damage to punch through Born Dented. And Swain,
I do agree.
Swain as well. I think he should have looked into Liandry's Torment, possibly instead of that Abyssal Scepter, because Liandry's Torment just scales so well with Swain. It's excellent on any dot-based champion, and you can really get a lot of mileage out of that passive effect.
Yes, also I saw in the chat that somebody said Swain should think about building mana regen.
He needs better management of his ultimate. Like, you can't have it on all the time. Like, right now, I think he's also
we see
capping a little too prematurely, but he just got melted. They focused him so hard. And Darius will get the dunk on the Lunch Hour, but he's going to go down to the combined efforts of Dent Student and Weequay, and it's looking like the second inhibitor is going to fall, if not the Nexus immediately right now.
And we'll see what Riven. Let's see if Riven can make those clutch plays actually right here. It's grim, but let's see. Let's see what Riven can do.
Weequay is dealing with Riven while Dent Student just wails away at the Nexus, and he'll put up that pillar just to block Renaud from getting there, and it doesn't matter because Weequay will just finish her off anyway. And Game 3 will go to Born Dented, who are the victors of this series in our tournament.
Very nicely played by both teams.
Yes, extremely well fought.
It was very nicely done, especially with the team effort from BoDent or BoDent yet. They did a nice job. Velvet also tried their best. A little bit of an issue, I would say, with build, as you were saying. But, still great game, very close last game. And I would say that would be a worthy last game for the night, I would say. How about you, Pastoulio?
So, yeah, an excellent series to watch. And I want to congratulate both teams. Thank you so much for participating in LOL tourneys.